Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So this video is about replacing Kentish ragstones. So ragstone repair. So my name's Gareth from North London Masons, and it's just a pretty simple video really. It just does help if it's something you come across and you've never done it before, because basically what is really important in this video in regards to these ragstone replacements is that the wall is soaked down thoroughly, the inside is soaked. This will help the muck adhere and also help the lime from not drying out too quickly, and keep it moist during its curing process. So it's really, really important. And also turn any dust that's in there and make that dust become part of your aggregate and not get in the way of adhesion. Right, with ragstones, it's not like brick replacements. It has to be completely bogged out with mortar. I mean, the whole thing has got to be completely filled. There cannot be a void in it. A lot of people like to leave voids, so it makes it easier to get the bricks in, etc., etc. But with ragstones, you can't. They'll just fall out otherwise. And on this particular job, they have, and they fall into school playgrounds and stuff. Just where people have done replacements in the past, and the old builders had put veneers in, and once the walls, the mortar in the walls have started to perish, they just fallen out and hit the roofs and landed on the street as well. So it's really important. So you'll see here, I'm just making sure all the voids are full and compact. It's really, really important. And very similar to laying flint, you want to keep it as close bonded as properly, as best as you can. Something fell down the scaffold there, and I pretended that it hit me, so just having a laugh with the boys there. They're up the top replacing some stone kneelers on the copings. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, pretty simple stuff. So this is all hot lime mortar, no pozzolans or anything like that, just straight quick lime. It's fine for this sort of stuff. And yeah, you can see me putting that slither in there between the cornerstone. And yeah, just making sure all the voids are full. And that's it really. That stone that I just replaced was obviously one that I'd taken out, so it didn't need any cutting or anything like that. But really the main, I think, thing to teach in this video is just the soaking down and the filling up with mortar. With ragstones, you actually need to put more mortar in, so when you tap it, it starts to spill out of the joints, and that fills your joints up for you and allows the stone to really be compacted and for it to hold there. And you need to lean them in slightly. It's really important, otherwise you just don't bother replacing them at all, because they will fall out and they'll just drop. So it's really important. It's not just like replacing a brick. It's completely different, and something only someone who's kind of really done replacements on these would really know. But it comes with just experience, because you do one or two and they don't go so well, and then you start to learn. But you can't have voids at the back. You'll notice on the last stone that I lay, what I'm referring to. So the next stone obviously will be pretty easy, because you lay that and then you'll see a void at the back, which you will then fill with muck. But then it's the last one at the top. So the last one at the top, the wall is just the void is just completely filled with mortar. Actually, you want to put too much in, because when you push that ragstone in, you whack it in with the end of your hammer or whatever you've got there to hand, and the muck starts to spill out of the sides, and that's what holds it in, and then you've got a full joint. And that is what, and the muck filling your voids by it spilling out is good, because then that's making it easier for you to point up afterwards, and it's also obviously going to allow the stone to go back in. So that's the key with ragstone replacements, is don't worry about putting too much muck in and thinking, oh, I won't be able to get the stone in now, I'm going to struggle. It's actually the opposite with ragstones. That's what you want to do. It's got to be full joints, because I've checked my work after and it's absolutely solid. It's complete. There is no voids. And then also when you come to dong it up 2 days later, this was winter time, so there was no way you're going to finish the hot lime joints on the same day. You have to wait 2-3 days sometimes. About 2 days. Summertime can be on the same day, but winter you're looking at a couple of days to be able to finish hot lime. And that's also going to add to the strength, because you're pushing that mortar in with the timber. So if you refer to one of my other videos, actually I think that's been taken off. It's pretty much like flush pointing brick. It's the same thing. It's the exact same process as flush pointing brick. So that's pretty much it basically. I did have a video of hotline pointing, but it was copyright, and I wasn't too savvy or tech savvy to realise I could have took the sound out and re-uploaded it, but I think I just deleted it, so I'm a bit gutted about that. But there's plenty of flush pointing videos around, and sorry, I actually do have one. There is one that I do on brick, so if you want to go have a look at that, that will show you how to finish these joints once the ragstones have been replaced. So there you go. So I won't bother you anymore. Just keep watching. Not really much more to say apart from keep everything wet. Make sure the lime is quite wet, and really whack it in there so you get a nice stick. I tend to give it a good whack so it really sticks to it instead of just buttering it on. But you can butter it on, but I think giving it a good whack in there is good. But you'll see now, I'm really making sure it's packed, and I'm even using all the old stuff that had fallen out. It's a lot of people say it weakens the mortar, but it's fine just to fill up little bits, but make sure that's all wet and mixed in with your mortar. It's fine using bits here and there. It's sustainable. It's not gonna cause any problems if it's just little bits to help fill areas here and there. It's good to reuse stuff, and fine for this sort of work. But you'll see there, you want to try and get the joints as tight as possible, so you don't want to go any more than 20 mil. If you look at some of the ragstone replacements up above, they're quite big. These are repairs that have been done in the past, but some of the ragstones that have been put on this building, you wouldn't believe, it's absolutely fantastic. In some areas, on another elevation of the building, the original builders built it absolutely fantastic. It's so good. Do not underestimate ragstones. Some of them are like granite, and I mean like granite. Some of them are soft. It's a limestone, I believe, and it's solid. Like this one here that I'm hitting, I'm gutted the sound's not on, but honestly, they are like curbstones. They are solid, and you'll get some that are like sandstone that will just perish apart. So they differ. There's sort of a hard and a soft stone, and they're not easy to shape. But you want to get it as close bond as possible. You don't want the joints going any more than an inch. You don't want any more than that, but just get them as tight as possible. Similar process to knapping flint or any sort of stone, rough walling. Just get the joints as tight as possible and spin them around. And always try to, what I find's easiest is you've always got to think about your next stone when you're putting in ragstones, because you don't want to make it hard for yourself. So you can see the top of that's flat. I know this is the last ragstone that I'm laying, but this is a good example to show you it's good. Always check the next stone you're going to put in after, because you don't want to make life hard for yourself and give yourself a really dodgy angle, and then you might have to snap that stone in two and trim 2 ragstones, which is more work, and it's killer on your body. So try and leave, if you can, a right platform for your next ragstone. Otherwise you could end up with 2 little silly cuts and it will just look crap. But you can see here, look, I've got a lovely nice little corner to the right there going up in that angle. It's nice, and I'm just trimming it, putting it back in, checking it, putting it back in, and that's what you want. Just joints as tight as possible, and you can't go wrong. But yeah, you can see this one here is like a lump of granite. I mean, they're pretty much, I'd probably say 8 out of 10 ragstones are hard, and you know, you will get soft ones that will literally be like bath stone. They'll just fall to pieces. So yeah, it's one of those stones really. It's hard and soft. But what you'll see here is, you can see that void behind it is massive for the stone. So there's going to be a huge void here. You don't want that. So it's basically going to bog the absolute hell out of it now with mortar. Always keeping it soaked all the time, so you get a nice stick, you get a nice bond. It's so important for bonding. The longer something takes to go off, like, you know, in lime or cement or anything like that, the stronger it will be. If you notice, when people are doing tiles or veneers, they'll soak the wall down first. They'll give it a cement paste, like what a lot of people do to their slabs as well. You know, they priming slurry it, prime the wall, give it a cement paste as well, and that wall is saturated. Now that's going to stay saturated for a long amount of time, and then when that completely dries, then that's when you get your bond. You know, nothing's going to stick. You know, you need good adhesion, so it's really, really important. Lots of people just you know, don't really know this, but actually the you know, when it's coming to lime and making things stick, you know, you want it to be wet and you want it to be moist, and that moist it will stay there for a while, and that'll increase the durability and the adhesion of it all. So it's really, really important that, you know, you take care in doing this. So you can see here, look how much I've filled that up now, but there's a reason for this, as you'll see. And I'm just smacking the mortar in there, really whacking it in, and now the ragstone goes in, and it's proud. So I've got something to work with now. I've got that bottom one as support, but you can see that's not pushed in enough now. That should just be kind of hanging there, just sitting on a very small part of the apex of that bottom ragstone. So that needs to be whacked nicely back now, which I'm doing, and I'm just leaning it in at the top. That's nice, and then just wiggling it with my hand, getting that nice stick there, and I'm checking it now, making sure I know it's stuck. Brick hammer's a great tool for this because it will get in the joint. So if you want to grind it down, get that joint smaller, get it nice and tight, then you can do that. Brick hammer's a great tool, and that's it. There we go. And then it's just a case of pointing up now, but that's self-explanatory. You can refer to one of my flush pointing videos, and it's the exact same process. Timbering up, churn brushing up, and soft brushing up, and then soaking down afterwards, and that's the pointing process done. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry for my ramblings. Not a great narrator, but hopefully my ragstone replacements are good enough. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Please get in touch for a free quotation. Thank you very much.